Ladies and gentlemen, boys and... Turn your volume down. Girls. Welcome to episode 32? 30... What? 30... Is it 34 of the Spearhead... I don't know. Welcome to an episode of the Spearhead Sundays podcast. You're here with Lewis Spears. Apologies in advance if this is a short one, guys. My fucking cunt mates, right? Is there anything worse than somebody showing up early? Right? So this weekend, me and a whole bunch of friends, we're going away to a beach house in fucking Port Arlington, I think. I don't know, right? I don't fucking own the place, okay? And we were going to leave. It's Friday, 2:42 p.m. right now. We were going to leave my house at 5 p.m. But then my cunt mate is like, oh, there's going to be bad traffic, so let's do it at 3. And meanwhile, here's me, fucking planned my entire day around leaving at 5, right? So I was going to do it, and it was all fucking planned. I was in the city, I had to fucking rush home, and now I'm here and I've got 28 minutes. I fucking hope he's late, man. Otherwise, this is going to be a short one. So if this is a short one, it's Phil's fault. Fuck you, mate. It's actually, I don't know. And you know what else? I've had a bit of a shitty day today, guys, right? I went into the studio. I went into Studio 52 to record 2 tracks off my next mixtape for my music stuff, Christopher Ruse. Google that if you want to check out some of my rap shit. Just putting out some serious music under a different name. I got all fucking amped up. I produced the beats. I've been rehearsing. Been like figuring out where I'm supposed to breathe in between my lyrics, and then I go all the way there. It takes me an hour to get there. It's in fucking Collingwood. I get there, I sit on the couch, I text him. I'm like, hey man, right? I fucking get there, and a guy's like, hey bro, you here to see this guy? I'm like, yeah man, I'm here to see him because I've worked with him a million times before. He's a really good guy. I get there, I sit down on the couch. I'm like, hey man, I'm here, ready when you are. Like, I'm fucking perfectly on time. And he texts me back that he can't make it. It was an emergency, right? I'm not angry at him, okay? I'm just angry at the world. He totally can fucking blow me off because I don't mind about that. It's just, I built my whole day around going to the studio, and then I was going to fucking lay down some heat. I was just all amped up. I feel like I want to rap. I'm not going to do it to you guys here, okay? I'm obviously not going to let you guys hear the fucking unfinished rap shit. You know what I'm going to do, though? At the end of this podcast, there's this beat that I'm working on that I am struggling with mixing it. I think the bass is too loud, but I'm not too sure. I can't figure out if the bass is too loud or not loud enough. So what I'm going to do at the end of this podcast, I'm going to put in an excerpt from the beat at the end of this podcast. Can you guys have a listen to it on a few different things, like just your headphones or your car speakers or laptop, and just tell me what you think of the mix. Like, is the bass too heavy? Is it not heavy enough? Is it just a shit beat in general? I need some feedback on that. So that's what I'll do at the end of this. I'll put in an instrumental that I produced, and I just need a couple of other ears to listen to it. Because you know when you work on something for ages, I do this all the time, especially with videos, right? With Lou Review, I'll write it, and then I'll film it, and then I'll edit it, and then I've spent fucking 20 hours on this one video, and I get to the end of the editing and I watch it and I'm like, fuck, is this even funny? Just because I've watched the jokes a million times. I wrote them, I performed them, and then I edited them. So I've heard all my own jokes a million times and I'm like, fuck, it's just not funny. Because it's like when you spend so much time on something creatively, you have to almost convince yourself, no, when I started this, it was a good idea. When I started doing this shit, it was a good idea. Because by the time you get to the end of the fucking process, it's like, oh, it's shit. It's like, that one asshole, it was always a girl, that one bitch in art class at school, she was a fucking freak at art. She was amazing. She could draw anything, paint anything. And she was just generally widely known as the bitch who could paint. And 100% of the time when she finished her painting, she would always go, done. Oh, but it's not any good. It's not good. I hate it. And it's like fucking the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life. And I was always torn between, I should tell her that it's actually good, or maybe I should, because they're fishing for compliments. People who do that when they know they're fucking amazing at art, and then they do something amazing and they paint it and they get to the end and it's like a fucking beautiful thing, and then they go very loudly, "Hi guys, I'm done and I don't like this. Please give me compliments to make me feel better." That kind of shit is just fishing for compliments. And I was always torn between either ignoring that, not saying anything, or agreeing with them. Because I've done it a few times. If you ever agree with someone who's like, "I hate this, oh my God," like what they're obviously fishing for compliments, if you just agree with them, they don't know what to do because it's just so left of field of what they are expecting. Where they'll go like, "Oh, it's just, I hate the face, the face is just all wrong," and you look at it and it's just the most amazing thing you've ever seen, and then you're like, yeah, you're right, I don't really like the face. It's not very good. And then they just look at you like with the eyes of, "How could you do this to me? I'm going to go home and cut myself now." All that shit. But now we're going away to Port Arlington, I think. And the reason we're going there is because the guy, one of our mates owns this holiday house there that we've always just gone to. It's like a bit of a tradition amongst us. And this will be the last one because his family have sold it. So I think what's going to happen is the house might get a little bit destroyed because where that one group of friends that whenever they get together just bad shit happens. Well, when we get together, generally it was vandalism. It was always just smashing things because I'm a comedian. I see comedy every week. I watch YouTube, I see comedy on TV, and I see professional stand-up comedians who have been doing stand-up comedy for 20 years, absolute experts in their fields. And I have never laughed more at comedy than I have at smashing something and then running away. There's nothing funnier than that. Like that simple fucking act of smashing a letterbox and just legging it. There's nothing funnier than that. And I'm a comedian and I totally recognize that I will never top that. I will, that's the kind of thing. I think that's why, right? I think that's why generally comedy is treated with less respect. Well, not less respect, maybe less reverence. Like people think making comedy is a lot easier than it is. Like being a stand-up comedian, that's really fucking hard. You know how a lot of people they're like funny in conversation and then people go, "Oh, you should be a comedian." Those people should not be comedians. Never are they comedians. Very, very rarely do you have a stand-up comedian, right? A brilliant stand-up comedian, very rarely is he actually funny in conversation. Because that's why, chefs, they don't cook at home. They fucking eat McDonald's. They're cooking all day at work. They don't want to cook at home. A comedian, I spent a fucking month writing 5 minutes of hilarious material. The last thing I want to do is just break out my fucking comedy skills in a conversation. Do you know what I mean? So I think that, and I think that basically what I'm saying, right, is you look at the fans of comedy versus the fans of musicians like rap, right, or boy bands. Girls will scream and cry and get their tits out at a concert. They'll freak out when they see them in public. I remember I went to a Curses concert, right? And the dude, as he was leaving, people were waiting outside the venue. He got into a car and drove away. Girls were screaming, banging on the windows, and they chased after the car. I will never, ever experience that in my life, right? In fact, at the very same moment, so I was with him. He was driving back to the hotel room. He had to get into a car and drive to the hotel room. I walked. It was only a fucking 10-minute walk from the venue, but it was just not... wouldn't have been practical for him to walk it. He would have been swamped, right? So we walk out together. He gets in a car and he drives off. I'm like, "I'll meet you at the hotel." People scream, freak out, and they chase the car down the street. And then once the car's gone, they hyperventilate and freak out, right? That's what he gets with his fans. Whereas a few people recognize me. They come up to me and they're like, "Hey man, you're really funny. I like your stuff." And I was just like, "Really? That's it? You like my stuff? That's all I get? You're not going to harass me and cry and hyperventilate and shit your pants? You're not even going to get one of your tits out? You're just going to say nice work? Bullshit, man. And I think that's because I think like musicians are so much more revered and respected because you can never make music accidentally. So everybody knows that making it is hard, right? Everybody can be funny accidentally. Like somebody fucking wearing a silly costume, that's funny. You can't put on some clothes and that makes a song. Do you know what I mean? Like so many people have been funny in their lives that they just think, oh yeah, I can do that. Whereas not many people have, well, lots of people have tried music and they're like, fuck, this is hard to do. You can't accidentally create a song. Like you can't accidentally make people go, oh man, that was a great song in a conversation. You can, however, say something, call a friend a cunt in a spectacular way, and everybody will laugh and go, dude, you're funny. So people are like, everybody's been funny at some point in their life. Not everybody has been a musician. And I think that's why musicians are revered and seen as more like, fuck, you're amazing than comedians are, because anybody can be funny. But people don't realize that not everybody can do stand-up. Doing stand-up comedy and being funny in conversation are so different, it's ridiculous. Like they're on different fucking planets. But I was at this gig. This is why I'm talking about this, right? Really fucking made me angry. I was at this stand-up gig this week. And all these stand-up comedians it was just a regular open mic. So I wasn't performing that night. I just went there to watch. But like 10 different comics. And there were these two fat cunts, these two fat bitches sitting near me, right? They weren't comedians. They were not on. And they were critiquing people on the stage. They've never done comedy, right? And it wasn't just, oh, that wasn't very funny. It was as if that got a laugh. You should get on stage, says one girl to the other. She goes, I know. I would be so much funnier than these people. We should do comedy. We're so funny. And they're just laughing amongst each other. And I'm just sitting there seething with rage. It's basically like, imagine, okay, what's this? Imagine, I'm not comparing myself to Usain Bolt, right? Because I'm not the Usain Bolt of comedy. But imagine fucking Usain Bolt sitting in the audience just sitting on a park bench, right? Usain Bolt is sitting on a park bench. And these no, that's a shit analogy. What's the analogy? It's definitely, Usain Bolt's definitely going to be this analogy. Let me have a think. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm committing to this. I'm going to make this analogy no matter how much of a stretch it is, all right? Okay, right. Okay, right. Okay, so Usain Bolt, he's watching his team, the relay team train, right? He's sitting this one out because he trained earlier in the morning, whatever. But he's sitting in the bleachers and he's watching his relay team run, okay? I assume they got a relay team. The cunt probably wins every fucking running race. They probably get him in every running race they can, right? Anything under 800 meters is like, Usain, can you run this? Yeah, mate, whatever, I'll win it for you, right? So Usain's there watching his fucking team run. And then there's these two fucking skinny fat bitches who are like watching the team run. And then the team runs, like one person in the team runs, and they beat their personal best, right? They run 100 meters in fucking 12 seconds instead of 13 seconds. And then these two joggers are like, as if they beat their personal record. I go running every day. I go for a jog for 10 minutes every day. I should be an Olympic sprinter. And Usain Bolt is just sitting there going, you know nothing about sprinting, you fucking disrespectful cunt. That's what it was like, right? I'm obviously not saying I'm the Usain Bolt of comedy, but it was just like the level of disrespect to the art of stand-up was just insane. And I wanted to say something, but then I was like, nah. It's to the point where if I was on that night, I would have... Whenever you hear people do that, like talk shit about acts, I wish I was on that night because I would have gotten one of the girls up and I would have just asked her to say something funny. That would have been fucking great. Because generally when you deal with hecklers, right, when people talking during the show, you really don't need to say anything to win, right? Because they're interrupting the show. So by default, the audience hates them because they're interrupting the show. The audience no matter what kind of show it is, even if the show is going terribly, the audience obviously wants a good show. So for somebody to interrupt it, they're already losing. And a lot of hecklers don't realize this, that they're cunts. Like, some people think that comedy is a fucking conversation. It's really not, okay? I spent an entire year writing an hour of comedy. You're going to sit down, shut the fuck up, and enjoy yourself. Like, I remember I had a heckler. This is a really bad heckler. This is my first, like, proper bad. Like, you know, if there's hecklers, like, sometimes you'll have a guy or a girl who will yell something out, and then you say something funny, and then everybody laughs, and they shut up, and that was it. But this cunt was so disruptive that it just got sad. Like, he would yell something, I would rip him, but then he kept going, and to the point where really there was nothing I could do. Like, I was at this open mic, right? I was doing 5 minutes of new shit, and this guy, he was drunk as fuck, right? What was I talking about? I was talking about people who go to Africa, who do that voluntourism stuff, right? They fly to Africa and they build a well, and then they say it's for charity, right? So I was doing a bit on how ridiculous that is, because really they're not helping the village. They're helping Qantas by buying those plane tickets, really. If you wanted to help the village, you just give them the fucking money. So that was what my whole joke was. New bit that I'm working on for the next show. And this guy just out of nowhere, I'm doing my bit, I'm halfway through, and he just goes, Donald Trump! And I was like, what? And he goes, Donald Trump! I'm like, bro, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I've not brought this up at all. And then he just goes, he's the answer to our prayers. I'm like, what have you been praying for? A big orange cunt to come and yell on TV and build a wall that he can't afford? And that got a laugh, right? Because I ripped him. And then he kept yelling and interrupting me. And then I ripped him a few more times, and it was funny. And then it wasn't funny anymore. He just kept going and kept going and kept going. And to the point where I just had to seriously stop my set and go, dude, can you please just not yell out things? All I want to do is try out this new joke. I spent the whole week writing this new bit. I'm on stage now. I'm trying to test it out. And you're interrupting me. You're fucking with my job. Can I just do the bit and then I can figure out how to make it better? Can you be quiet for 3 minutes? And he just would not shut the fuck up. He's like, yeah, man, yeah. And then he just yell out something. And it just got to the point where he ends up just getting kicked out because it was so disruptive. Like, even the fucking security had to come in and kick him out. And then I did the rest of my joke, and it was just bad because the room was just fucking, it just got serious. Like, it went from being hilarious, this comedian's destroying this guy, to, holy fuck, why won't this guy just leave? He's so disruptive. This sucks. So, yeah, I don't know. Hecklers generally, I'm generally very good with hecklers, but there's nothing that any comedian can do with that, like, with that level of ignorance and selfishness. There's nothing you can do. If someone won't shut the fuck up, even after you've ripped them and asked them seriously to be quiet, that's the worst thing. When you have to stop your show and be serious and ask them, please stop talking. That's the worst thing. But, you know, it is what it is. That's the worst heckle I've ever gotten. That's like only the second time something like that has happened. Happened once at my show where I had to stop it and ask two girls to stop talking. But, you know, after that they did. They didn't have to get kicked out. But that's the first time I've ever had to kick a guy out. But yeah, I don't know. Heckling is just fucked. Please don't do it. Never do that. Because there's, you know what really annoys me is generally the kind of people who do heckle think, they think that they're going to win. Otherwise, why would they say something? Do you know what I mean? Like, every time I've sat in an audience and I've been near a heckler, before they go and yell something out, they think they're going to win. They actually think they're going to beat a comedian. Even if the comedian fucking sucks, he has the microphone and he's on stage and you're not. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like fucking stepping into a UFC ring and just fucking trying to punch Conor McGregor. And you know, he's a professional fighter. There's no way you're going to win. You might hit him once, but after that, you're fucking done. And yeah, that was just a fucking example of the guy just wouldn't tap. Because, you know, comedians, we all hate hecklers. like, even though as funny as it is to destroy a heckler, it definitely sucks, because at the end of the day, we're there to do our fucking act. We're not there to deal with hecklers. So it does suck having to deal with that shit. But it you know, I don't know why people do it. Like, they obviously think they're going to win, and it's just like, dude, you're going up against a person who is professionally funny and witty. You can't win this argument, and they have a microphone, and they're on stage, and you're interrupting them. It's like the odds are so stacked against the heckler. I don't know how the fuck they think they can win. Fuck my phone. All right, guys, I'm going to get into the miscellaneous bit at the end, because I got a couple of questions here. Fuck, my friend is here. All right. Sorry, guys, I gotta go. My mate is out the front. I will end this podcast with one of the instrumentals that I want you guys to listen to. Can you listen to it and give me some honest feedback and criticism? Especially about the bass. I'm not sure if the bass is too loud or too quiet, or it should be changed entirely. So let me know how that sounds. Listen to it in your headphones and in your car or whatever the fuck. Really sorry this one is short. I had my whole day planned out, and then this cunt shows up early. Nothing. That's worse than being late, really. Being early. And what's worse than me running the podcast too long is me cutting it short. So sorry about that, guys. It is a short one, but I will be back next Sunday with a really good podcast. I'm going to try and get a guest on, make it up to you guys. All right, let me know what you think of this beat, and have a shit one.